Chapter 14. Echoes Between Us. Rain tapped against the library windows like a metronome to Alara's racing thoughts. The world outside was gray and soft-edged, but her insides were anything but calm. Her fingers hovered above the paper in front of her, unmoving, as if the ink would betray everything she refused to say aloud. Kieran sat across from her, his head buried in club paperwork. He said something about deadlines, but the words faded into static. She tried to nod, to be present, but her mind was with him. Aiden. His face from the debate haunted her, the way his eyes flickered, raw and uncertain. The brief hesitation when she delivered her closing line. The way he followed her with that storm in his gaze. "You okay?" Kieran's voice cut through. She looked up. "Yeah, just tired." He gave a gentle smile, the kind that never demanded more than she could offer. "We can take a break. You've been carrying this club all month." "No. I want to finish this." He nodded and returned to his notes, his presence steady and comfortable. But her thoughts spun elsewhere. Down the hall, Aiden leaned against a row of lockers, watching raindrops race each other down the glass. He hated the quiet. It left too much room for memories. Her voice from the debate clung to him like a second skin. Leadership is about seeing people, really seeing them. He had seen her, not just the girl with too big glasses and too few words. Not just the art room recluse. He had seen the child who used to chase butterflies with him. The girl who hummed when she thought no one was listening. The girl who had once drawn a cartoon dragon in his notebook because he said math made him want to breathe fire. Why had he let her go? Why had he vanished from her world when she looked at him like he mattered? Because he was scared. Because no one had ever made him feel seen like that. Not until her. That evening, the rain followed Alara home, soaking her shoes and turning her glasses into blurred portals. She stepped inside, dropped her bag, and collapsed onto her bed. Her fingers reached for the edge of the sketchbook on her desk, the old one. The one with frayed pages and doodles from a time when things felt simple. She flipped through. Butterflies. Raindrops. A boy with messy hair and a mischievous grin. She closed it slowly, as if afraid the past might spill out. "It was just a crush," she whispered aloud. The words hung in the air like smoke. She repeated it. Just a stupid, naive crush. But her chest ached. Deep, blooming ache. Because crushes didn't make you feel this hollow. Crushes didn't make your voice tremble or your hands shake when you thought of them. She thought she had moved on. But why did her heart still stutter when she saw his name? Why did her eyes always find him in a crowd, like some unspoken compass? Aiden sat in his room, dim light casting shadows across his walls. His phone buzzed, a message from a teammate, a meme from his sister, but he ignored them. Instead, he opened the box under his bed. Old photos. Childhood ones. And at the bottom, a folded piece of construction paper. A butterfly, drawn by Alara. He had kept it, even after all this time. Even after he tried to forget. His chest tightened. He had dreams now, confusing, blurry ones. Of her laugh, her eyes, the way she'd used to sit cross-legged and tell him he was brave even when he cried over scraped knees. Was he brave now? He didn't feel like it. He felt like a coward. A coward who walked away from the only person who saw his soul. The next day, they passed in the hallway. He slowed. So did she. For a second, the noise of the world dipped into silence. Aiden met her eyes. And this time, he didn't look away. She didn't smile. But she didn't disappear either. It was something. Maybe the beginning of something new. Or the echo of something that never really ended. Chapter 15. Flicker beneath the noise. The school carnival pulsed with color, laughter, and music that seemed to rise and fall like a heartbeat. Children darted between booths, balloons bobbed in the breeze, and the scent of caramel popcorn lingered in the air. Alara stood near the charity art booth, adjusting the corners of the display table. Her sketchbooks were open, her best pieces carefully clipped to a board behind her. Soft graphite lines, gentle watercolors, bold ink. Pieces of her heart, on display for strangers to see. She hated how vulnerable it felt. Yet, she stayed. "You're braver than you think," Kieran had said earlier, gently nudging her shoulder. He was here somewhere, with his fiancée, laughing over cotton candy and light-hearted games. Alara was glad for the distance. She didn't need a reminder of uncomplicated relationships. "Not today. You should put a price on this one," a voice said behind her. Familiar, rougher than it used to be. She didn't need to turn around to know who it was. "You're not really the type to buy art," she murmured. Aidan stepped up beside her, eyes scanning the page in front of him, a sketch of a little boy chasing butterflies across an open field. It wasn't a masterpiece, just a memory. Their memory. He didn't say anything at first. Just stared at it, lips pressed into a line. The carnival noise dulled around them. "You remember that day?" he finally asked. "You pushed me into a puddle." He winced, then grinned. "And you punched me in the nose. Fair trade." Alara looked at him. Not the golden boy, not the rival, just Aidan, flushed from the sun, hoodie sleeves rolled up, fingers jammed in his pockets like he didn't know what to do with them. "Why are you here?" she asked, not unkindly. "Because I was walking by and saw a booth with painfully good art. Thought I'd mock it." She gave him a dry look. He shrugged, smile dropping slightly. "Because I was hoping you'd be here." The air shifted. Alara looked away, heart stumbling. "What do you want from me, Aidan?" "I don't know. Maybe just 5 minutes where we're not pretending to hate each other." She tilted her head, studying him. He didn't look smug, or sarcastic. Just honest, almost boyish. "I don't hate you," she said quietly. He blinked. "But I don't trust you either." He swallowed, nodding. "Fair." For a long moment, the world spun around them, laughter, lights, chaos. But they were still, a quiet pocket in the noise. "I liked that speech you gave at the debate," he said after a beat. "It messed me up. That wasn't the intention. It made me think about how little I actually see people. How I look without really looking." She exhaled slowly. "You used to see me. I know. And then you didn't." His jaw clenched. Regret flickered across his face. "I got scared. I remembered how it felt to care, and how much it hurt when I moved away. I was a stupid kid who thought it was easier to forget." "And now?" she asked. "Now I wish I hadn't tried so hard to forget." She glanced down at her sketchbook, fingers brushing the page absently. "It was one-sided, anyway," she whispered. Aidan looked at her sharply. "You really think that? You vanished. You didn't even say goodbye. You looked through me for months when we ended up in the same school. If it wasn't one-sided, it was something crueler." His expression cracked. He took a step closer. "I didn't know how to face you, Alara. You became someone who mattered again. And that scared me. I thought keeping my distance would protect us both." She turned her face slightly, watching the Ferris wheel spin in the distance. "I'm not that little girl anymore. I know." He reached out, hesitated, then gently touched the edge of the tablecloth between them. "But part of me hopes you still like butterflies." A small, broken sound escaped her, a laugh or a sigh, she wasn't sure. She looked at him, eyes glinting with something too complicated to name. "I do." They stood there, inches apart. Not quite touching, but not pulling away either. Just a flicker, a moment where something old and familiar stretched its wings between them. End of chapter 15. Chapter 16 will deepen this moment with more one-on-one scenes, lingering tension, a hint of jealousy resurfacing, and Alara wrestling with what her heart refuses to admit.